Good morning, multiverse. Hey there, friends and foes. This is Back to the Cereal Box, the pop culture podcast that celebrates the fun of the Saturdays of our youth while surviving adulthood today. I am your host, John Pyka. You can call me Johnny. And this morning, we are taking a deep doctoral dissertation dive into Tom and Jerry as part of Saturday Morning 101. And to help us do that, we've got a very special guest all the way from the Across the Pond Sports Network, our super cereal box super fan, James Scott. You do not want to miss this show, and we're going to get to it right after this from the Murdering Crows.
It's like Coca-Cola, Levi Strauss, Johnny Carson and Mickey Mouse. The first star was James Dean. Elvis Presley, yeah, he's still the king. Some things are only imitatable. You can't beat an original. Oh, you can't beat an original.
All right. Of course, that theme song is brought to you by our good friends, the Murdering Crows. You can get their album, Four Bad Crows, available from Amazon, iTunes, or Google, anywhere you buy music. And we want to thank our super friends right off the top of the bat, Eli Cash, Cindy Kep, Sharice Collins, Dave Manginelli, Dave Mattingly, Greg and Crystal Jones, and you too can have your name in lights at buymeacoffee.com/cerealboxpod. We are also brought to you by my book series, Tales of the Decoverse, available Barnes & Noble, Amazon, local bookstores anywhere across the country, including alongside Every Beaten Path by our co-host, Sarah Jenkins. You can get that at Amazon or your local bookstore. Call them up. Make sure they have it on the shelves and go in there and grab yourself a copy of Every Beaten Path. Well, guys and gals, I am going to do something very different this morning. We're going to mix it up because we have a very special guest this morning, and I'm going to introduce him first before our co-hosts because James Scott is with us all the way from Scotland. He is in the States covering the big sports ball convention that's happening this weekend. You know, they do the cosplay contest and all of that fun stuff. And James, I'm wearing the only sports attire I have, my Griswold Christmas vacation hockey sweater and my Cleveland Indians. I refuse to call them the Guardians baseball cap. But I wanted to bring you on first because I know that your boys are watching and dancing to the theme song that we just had. And I wanted them to see you first so that they knew what a big deal their dad was.
Oh man, thank you so much. And yeah, the theme song, I heard this back when Clubhouse days. You used to sing it yourself.
Yep.
And I was like, that's such a cool theme song. And then I started watching your show, and I was like, I love that. It's like one of my favorite theme songs of all time. And Cooper, my youngest, he like, we used to have a TV in the kitchen before the boys got a bit too big and a bit handy. And he used to like dance around the kitchen when that came on.
That's fantastic. I love that. And you are here in the States because you are covering the Super Bowl for the Across the Pond Sports Network. And you're up at 6 a.m. to be on this show. Where you're at. You're in Utah, right?
Yes, I'm in Utah just now. So it just turned 7. So I've been up for about an hour, just getting kind of ready for game time here. And and then right after this, I head down to Glendale, Arizona.
Yeah. So you're going to be a busy man the next couple of days. And I'm so glad that you were able to join us live. And a big shout out to your boys watching back home in Scotland. And, I can't say Scotland without saying it the way you would say it, Scotland. So we need to welcome in the rest of our crew. My co-host of 11 years, she is an immensely talented actress, model, photographer, and she is a fan of all things Ghostbusters, Wizard of Oz, Friends, and I'm sure there's some other things that I'm forgetting. Jurassic Park. She loves dinosaurs, James Scott. She is the one, the only, the original geek girl, Miss Dee Bartee. Welcome, Dee.
Hi, good morning.
Now, for those of you who are watching, we have a treat in a few minutes because we are going to do a live taste test of Sour Patch Kids Candy Pop, and Dee is so excited. I can't wait. I can't wait. Also joining us from her secret beach house bunker in a non-disclosed location in Middle Tennessee. She is the host of Coffee and Words, the author of Every Beaten Path, and a new book coming out that's she won't tell us anything about. But she is a fantastic actress, cosplayer as well, Miss Sarah Jenkins. Sarah meet James. James meet Sarah.
Hi.
Hey.
And of course, our rounding out our team. I'm trying to use sports metaphors here for you, James. Rounding out our team at center is our emotional support Canadian. She is the Peppermint Princess, the social media socialite. She is a fan of comic books, X-Men in particular, all things superhero. It is Willow Skylor. Good morning, Willow.
Good morning.
Willow, you are coming from a very cool looking location this morning. Where are you broadcasting from?
From my lounge.
Well,
Where's your cigar?
yeah, you need a cigar for that one.
Scott, right now. Let's do it.
I feel like I need to be in a pinstripe suit and a fedora.
I can help you with that.
John's like, what color you want? I got you.
I've got a bunch of them. Well, for everybody in the audience, this is how the show works. You can comment in the comments in the chat and help us out, because this is a pop culture podcast that celebrates the fun of the Saturdays of our youth while surviving adulthood today. And normally, James, Saturday mornings for me meant a big bowl of cereal, sitting down to watch cartoons, read comic books, watch kung fu movies or kaiju movies, Godzilla. And we didn't have smartphones or tablets at the breakfast table, so we were reading the back of the cereal box in between cartoons, comic books, kaiju, kung fu movies. I got that all messed up this morning. I'm so excited to have you with me. I can't even get the intro right, but we're called back to the cereal box because that was our world, that was our portal, right? And I was looking at a cereal box just yesterday that had a comic strip printed on the back, and I was like, oh, they're bringing it back. So that's what this show is about. And so we're going to be talking about that fun stuff. Now, normally I would ask everybody what's in their bowl this morning, but we're going to do things a little bit differently. I'm going to ask you, James, you're 10 years old. You're sitting down in front of the TV with a big bowl of cereal. What's on the TV and what's in your bowl at 10 years old?
So when I was 10, and you got to remember, we got everything back then, like a couple of years after it came out in the US. So we had Captain Planet, and that was usually on around 8:30 in the morning on a Saturday, and just sit down with a big bowl of Sugar Puffs and just gouge out on that. And they were really sugary. And, so, it makes you high as a kite for the rest of the day.
I love that. Love that.
And ladies and gentlemen, that's how Ritalin was born.
Probably. And Willow, what do you got in your bowl this morning?
I'm still trying to eat through the cinnamon apple Cheerios.
Okay.
Or apple cinnamon Cheerios.
Now you say trying like it's a chore.
No, between other cereals that I'm trying to finish through, and then the finishing off the Fruity Pebbles the other day.
So I don't know about you, Sarah, but I don't have to try to finish a cereal. It's not that I want to finish it; I have to.
I have to try not to eat too much cereal because it's so good.
Yeah,
I'm a cereal for dinner person. Like if the other people in my house did not need like big meals cooked for them, I would just eat cereal every night for dinner.
I would too. James, what are you munching on? I saw you pop something in there.
Well, every time I come to the States, I always make sure my mom buys me Fruit Loops. So I am Fruit Looping.
Oh, nice.
I love that. I love that.
Well, we don't get them in the UK because the sugar content would mean they can't sit in the cereal aisle. So, sugar content and all that fun. So we don't get them in the UK. So whenever I come to the States, it's Fruit Loops and root beer. That's my diet.
I love that. You know what? You need to try them together. Put some root beer on the Fruit Loops.
I can actually do that live because I didn't put milk in it. So
let's do this. Oh my goodness!
My A and W.
Wait! Here we go. All right,
let's see. Will it cereal? Sort of.
Will it float?
No, I want to know I want to know how this combination works. Let's check this out.
This could be fun. So I'll just get some.
Everyone watching at home, just remember that James is a trained professional.
And my wife is going to probably send me a message in about 2 minutes saying, "What the hell are you doing?" So I usually eat dry, so I don't actually have a spoon. So I'm going to dip some in as well.
Oh, so we're going barbarian style. I love it.
You have to scoop it like this. You have to just pour it in.
By the way, this is new. This is ingenious. I should have thought of this years ago. I'm killing 2 birds with 1 stone right now.
I love that.
That's a genius move. Oh yeah.
He's gonna be on a sugar high all day.
Well, he's gonna need it.
Nike plant.
I'm definitely gonna need it.
Yeah, he's gonna need it with everything that's happening. Now, Willow, unfortunately, is in Canada, and we were not able to make it up to Canada to throw our swag across the border. We were gifted, courtesy of Vintage Italia, the brand new, you've seen them on store aisles, candy pop and cookie pop popcorn. And I sent some to Dee and to Sarah.
I know I've seen stuff like that at the grocery store. Yesterday I looked and I couldn't find anything of that sort. I even went to the local 7-Eleven to find something and couldn't find the candy pop anywhere. I did, however, find cucumber Lay's chips.
What? Wait. Cucumber?
Cucumber flavored Lay's chips.
I'm not sure how I feel about cucumber.
It's cucumber.
Cucumber.
Yeah, that's funny.
Well, it's cereal.
Yeah, we need to find that out. And I meant to do that this morning, but I'm out of milk. So what's in our bowl this morning is cookie and candy pop. And Dee Bartee and I are going to start by doing a live blind taste test of the Sour Patch Kids candy pop popcorn. So let's tear this open, Dee. She's so excited right now. She's so excited about this.
I really hate Sour Patch Kids. All things sour, I'm not a fan.
And Sarah, you can start opening one of your packages.
Why does it smell like that?
I open first. We have M&M's, Twix, Nutter Butter, and Snickers.
Ooh, you're right. Ooh, you're right, Dee. Oh, that does not smell good at all. So
Aw.
I'm gonna put a few in the bowl. All right, are you ready?
Look at the.
So-
it's got, like,
Well, here, Dee. Let's put this up here. Yeah, it's
Oh, I
got
love
sour.
that.
Yeah. All right, you got to get at least 2 or 3 pieces for a good taste test, not one. You got to put. You got to get a good one here.
I'm a single kernel popcorn eater at a time. So
Well,
that's-
not this morning.
okay.
All right,
Get
ready?
me off full screen. I'm not doing it on full screen.
What? We want to see your
Come
reaction.
on, Dee. Come on, Dee.
Dee.
Do it. Do it.
Willow,
Okay.
you can correct that in a minute.
Don't do it. I'll leave.
Ready?
Full screen if you can.
1, 2, 3.
I've got hooray.
Yep.
Oh God. Oh.
Yep.
Live vomit on the airphone.
Exactly how I thought that was gonna go.
Oh my God.
All right, no. We need to get Johnny's the whole look in there.
Okay, wait a minute.
Vomit.
Wait a minute.
Oh no.
So after the initial horrible taste, it gets really sweet.
First they're sour, then they're sweet.
Yeah,
And they're
it's
just
horrible.
disgusting.
It's horrible. But then it becomes
Oh, you're
good.
right. It does have a sweet taste at the end. Kind of tastes
What?
like cereal and popcorn. I don't like it.
Oh, it's like a horror movie. It horrifies you, but then there's usually a happy ending.
Yeah,
You
I don't
the
know.
dog is saved at the end.
Now I don't know how I
maybe.
feel about this.
I know how I feel.
I'm thankful.
So Dee,
Ooh.
Me
Dee,
and James are lucky that we don't have to suffer through this.
so
One.
I also got Butterfinger and Nutter Butter and Oreo. And what did you get, Sarah? What are you going to try this
I
morning?
have Nutter Butter, Snickers, M&Ms, and Twix.
Well, which one do you want to break open?
Well, I already opened the Snickers, but I can open anything. What do you want me to open this one?
Well, it's up to you. I'm gonna also try the Nutter Butter.
All right, let's try the.
Oh,
Well, if you
and-
guys are doing that, then I'm going to do the Oreo.
okay. Yes, cleanse your palate.
Yes, please. I dislike that very, very much.
Do you want me to will it cereal with this?
If you have milk, yes.
I do.
I can't believe you made me do that.
Mmm. Nutter Butter is really good.
Oh, yeah. Look at all the little
Right.
Oreos in there.
Okay.
And I love popcorn. And I love all different flavors of popcorn. No,
I've never had popcorn and milk before. This is weird.
All right. Let's do this with Sarah. Will wait. Now before you do this, so Will It cereal. Where did that go? Oh, I took it off. Will It cereal with Sarah Jenkins. This is Cookie Pop Nutter Butter popcorn.
Okay, before she tries that, this is really strange.
You said
This is
before,
like
but-
cookies and cream, ice cream is what it tastes like. It's good.
I love it. All right, Sarah. No, it will not
Nope.
cereal.
Popcorn does not cereal. Popcorn. Let me repeat. Popcorn does not cereal.
I would think it would
Oh.
disintegrate, right?
Yeah, it's like mush. It's like what I imagine soup would taste like after it's It's not
Well-
taste like but the consistency. It's not good.
But
We're putting this away. We're done and seen.
but this Nutter Butter popcorn is amazing.
Yes, do not let that deter you from this.
No.
Which is fantastic. Just do not add this to your popcorn. You ruin the purism of the popcorn.
And do you like the cookies and cream, the Oreo?
It tastes like cookies and cream. Yeah, it's really good.
So, James, while you're in the States, this is something you need to look for and take home. I also got Butterfinger. I'll try that later on. But we want to
I
thank.
got Butterfinger too. I like
Yeah.
that.
I'm gonna try the Snickers. Hang on.
Go ahead.
Let's see.
I'm scared to try the Butterfinger. It says it has peanut butter in it.
It's very good.
I have a peanut allergy. That's why
You
I don't
can
have
try
the
that.
peanut butter.
Do you have your EpiPen near you?
I do.
Okay.
We're fighting live television, but I don't think that we want to go there.
No.
No.
Yeah, that's not up to us to have someone die on our show.
No, you're right. Thank you to Vintage Italia for sending us a huge crate. And I'm sure that we will enjoy these over the next couple of days. You know what? Oh, for the Super Bowl party tomorrow, this would be great to have little bowls of the candy pop or cookie pop. So those of you who are preparing your Super Bowl party, go out to Kroger, Publix, or whatever your local grocery store is, buy some cookie candy pop. And here's this would be fun, Dee. So take the rest of the Sour Patch Kids popcorn and put it out with all of the rest of them, but don't tell anybody. That's what I'm going to do.
I'm not. Look, we're not Super Bowl people. We're going to be watching the rest of You because that came out yesterday, right? Or Thursday.
That's funny. That's funny.
We watched the first 2 episodes. Now we got to watch the rest this weekend.
Well, I'm not a Super Bowl person either, James. Sad to say. That's why the only sports attire I have is a Griswold Christmas vacation hockey sweater and my Cleveland Indians hat. I do love the Cleveland Indians. That's because it's where I'm from. But everybody else is going to be watching the football game, and I'll probably have a stack of comic books in the corner.
And up here in Canada, we celebrate our own little thing called the Grey Cup.
Now,
later on.
Well, now, Willow, I talked to a friend of mine who's an audio producer in Toronto, and he said the American Super Bowl is huge up there.
Oh my God.
Depending on who you're talking to. Like, I don't even know who's playing in the Super Bowl.
My dog won't eat the Sour Patch Kids.
Well,
not suitable for canines.
You know that's a bad sign for any food that a dog won't eat. It probably means it's not fit for human consumption either. Well, it is time for viewer comments. This is where you, the audience, get to share your comments with us. And we've got Molly Daniels saying, "Hey on, good morning, Molly." And the Serial Connection, crack of dawn. Yes, it is. Thank you for being with us, Serial Connection. We've got Jonathan Martin Ives, who was a previous guest. He's watching this morning. Go, Johnny, go, go. Eli T. Cash is in the audience, says, "Hey, guys." And speaking about you doing your blind taste test, Dee, Eli says, she's just so excited. It's spelled exited, but I know what you meant.
That she's exiting after the Sour Patch experience.
Yeah. And the Cereal Connection asks, what cereal was that? I think addressing you, James, it's Fruit Loops with root beer, and it works.
Definitely works. Loved it.
You know what would be even better? A Fruit Loops root beer float. So blend the Fruit Loops with ice cream and make a root beer float with it.
That could work. I like
Sarah's like, I'll be back in a couple of hours. I'm going to run down to the milkshake shop. And Eli T. Cash says, everyone blasting the snot out of each other in the 90s. I don't know what that means, Eli. I need context. Context is king.
With Nerf guns and water pistols.
Oh, he said, Serial Connection says, oh no, not Sugar Puffs, James Scott.
Love Sugar Puffs.
And Dave Mattingly says, can't get enough of that Sugar Crisp. It's got the crunch with punch. That was how Sugar Bear talked. Do you remember? Well, hello there. Time for some Sugar Crisp. Dee is like, there's innuendo all over that.
I'm not going there.
Dee got us in trouble last week.
Oh, no.
Big trouble. Innuendos were flowing all over our YouTube channel, James. That's all I'm going to tell you.
I was watching. I didn't think it was that bad.
Maybe the co-host had,
Well,
everything.
It was the comments later on the
okay.
YouTube channel that
The prime time special.
Yeah. And
Late night special.
Sarah was so offended by the viewer comments, I thought she was going to quit the show.
I almost did. No.
And then there's me completely oblivious to the whole thing.
Yeah,
What happened?
Well,
Serial Connections.
I didn't even. You think that they would have did a screenshot and sent it to me, but no, they decided to delete the comment before I even got a chance to read it.
Yeah, look, you snooze, you lose. He who hesitates is lost. Serial Connection says, I'm going to do that now. I think talking about Fruit Loops and root beer.
If it makes you feel better, I didn't know anything about it until John texted me and was like, hey. And I had my kid at the doctor when he was like, hey. And I'm like, oh dear Lord. What have I done?
Dave Mattingly says, similar to Candy Pop, I like the Cocoa Puffs popcorn. And the Serial Connection says the Fruity Pebbles one is phenomenal. Now, Serial Connection is being a little bit of a smart aleck. It can't be a blind taste test if you're looking at it. It's blind in as much as we had never tasted it before. It had never been opened. It was live and authentic. Authenticity.
They want us to blindfold ourselves next time, John. That should be a thing on the show.
You know what? I think you're right. I think you're right. That would be great. And Molly Daniel says, I'm with James. I prefer my cereal dry. I don't think you prefer it dry, do you, James? It's just that's the circumstance that you're in this morning.
No. Fruit Loops, I will happily dry.
Okay.
But most other cereals, I'll just have with milk.
All right.
Just the
Excellent.
Fruit Loops.
And Dave Mattingly says, eat your cereal from a Super Bowl. I love that. Yeah, I love that. But Molly Daniels said she's not going to watch the Super Bowl because she doesn't get the 4 main local channels. Is it on the local? No, it's not. What network is it on, James? CBS?
I think this year's CBS, yeah.
Oh.
Okay, Dave, I did not say. That was not me that said blindfolded. That was not me. Put that comment up.
Dave Mattingly says, last week had too much innuendo and Dee wants everyone blindfolded now.
He did not say that.
No,
that was not me.
That was the brunette super freak, Sarah Jenkins.
Hey,
Javier Diaz JD says, you can stream it, Molly. We have this thing called the internet. LOL.
Not the internet. What?
So, he's talking about the Super Bowl. Not streaming something else, you dirty-minded heathens. But I was just LOL. What does LOL stand for? Does everyone
Laugh
know?
out loud.
Laugh out loud.
Lots of love.
Oh, lots of love.
Now, when I was a kid, we would say, ha ha. Laugh out loud is an abbreviation to save time. Ha ha. I'm just saying.
Only old people text ha ha now.
Hey, James Cooper says hi, Dad, and wants all the cereal to try, please.
Awesome. That's my suitcase full going home then.
That's
Cheers, buddy.
fantastic. That's fantastic. Well, we'll get to some more viewer comments in a little bit, but now it is time for one of our favorite segments, New Loot. And this week, New Loot is brought to you by Galaxy Press and the Writers of the Future, Volume 38. And we all got a copy. Even Willow got a digital copy. Willow, did you get the email with the digital copy?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So this is the Writers of the Future Anthology, Volume 38 from Galaxy Press. L. Ron Hubbard presents Writers of the Future. And I don't know which one of you did not realize L. Ron Hubbard's pedigree in science fiction. Who was that?
No, I knew.
I think Dee was the one that questioned L. Ron Hubbard's.
I asked about it in the chat.
Well,
but
yeah.
it was me that asked about it, but I knew he was a science fiction writer.
L. Ron Hubbard, yes, is the guy who created Scientology, but he was also one of the most prolific science fiction authors of the mid-20th century. He wrote more science fiction than any other author. And he created this contest every year called the Writers of the Future. And this is volume 38, where writers submit submissions, and they are judged and juried by outstanding professionals in the field, and then they get published in this anthology. And we all got a copy and read it. And Dee, what was your favorite story?
Agatha's Monster, the very first one.
And what was that about?
Well, am I allowed to
Yeah.
say the whole thing?
Well, I mean, don't give any. Yeah. Tell us. Give us.
I
a
don't know how to.
synopsis.
I don't know how to without without spoilers.
Well, it's hard to spoil a book, even if you tell the plot. You really don't get. You really don't get it spoiled until you read it.
Okay, let me just say this. Okay, so it's a family of monster hunters, and one of the children has a pet monster. Agatha, obviously, Agatha's monster. That she keeps in her room, and you have a family of monster hunters, so they all are just like, if they found out, then they would be so angry because that's what they do, and they're well known and everything. And there's a surprise twist at the end. I don't want to give it away, but I mean, it's
the monster gets loose and creates a dilemma. Is that a good way to put it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was so sad, and then not so sad. So just go read it, because it was really, really. I was like, oh, just in this little short story, there were so many emotions going through me. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm going to cry, but then maybe not. And then okay.
I love that. Listen, that's what a good story should do, right, Sarah? It should take you on that roller coaster of emotion. I love that. So, Sarah, did you have a story that you read that you were particularly fond of?
No, I just got this Thursday evening, so I haven't had a chance to look at it yet. But
you're supposed to lie.
Well, no, but I don't lie. I want to call out that Frank Herbert has a bonus short story in this, which would be reason enough to pick this up, because, as we all know, he is the author of the Dune series. So that's awesome.
Good to know.
Yeah, and the artwork, I love that they included these pieces of artwork.
Well, this is Agatha's Monster.
Let's keep that held up there, Dee. We're gonna pull that up so people can see that. Tilt it just a little bit. There you go. Yeah, that's a big monster.
Oh yeah.
And she kept that hidden away.
No.
That's what I look like in the morning before coffee.
Yeah. This is me.
True story.
Well, there's all of this beautiful artwork in the front that are illustrations for each of the stories, and some of the pieces may look familiar because they have been published individually online. So you may have seen them if you're into science fiction and whatnot. And there's the cover artwork. Great anthology. And Sarah and Willow, did you get to read any of the digital copy?
I will try to access it again. I don't know. My email is kind of blocking some.
That's okay. So. You know what? I've got 2 extra copies. So here's what we're gonna do. If you would like to get a copy of Writers of the Future, we're gonna give one away this morning at the end of the show. Whenever you make a comment, put #future, and we will do a drawing for everyone who puts that in. And I'm going to bring up the giveaway tool.
It's really exciting. I'm really excited that you're giving this away because I actually sat in the car rider line and read this while I was waiting on my kids. I mean, read some of it and then read more of it the next day while I was waiting. So I love that it's short stories and it's really well written. I love that. Because, I mean, there's some that's like, you want to be a writer? But
well, yeah, if you're into science fiction, this is a fantastic anthology. And
I understood it.
Well,
unlike Star Wars. Like, I understood this. I was excited.
I love that. Well, what I love about it is it's all short stories. So it's something you can read in the car line waiting for the kids. It's something that you can sit down and, read a complete story from beginning to end in 20 minutes. And I love that. And my favorite story was the Magic Book of Accidental City Destruction. It was a lot of fun. Kind of like Harry Potter meets City of Ember gone wrong.
Well, I'm totally keeping this book in my car. So that's where it's going to live.
I love it. So for anyone who wants to win a copy, just put #future in the comments like Tracy Wilkes just did. How's the trip going, James? #future. So when did you fly over, James? From Scotland?
So I flew over Wednesday. I was pretty much awake for 24 hours by the time I landed in Vegas. So that was fun. But Tracy is actually our Major League Baseball host. She's out in England, which is just south of Scotland. There's a border and stuff. And Tracy's awesome. Tracy's joining our team this year. So we're looking forward to having her. She's a big Mets fan. Big Mets.
All right. Excellent. And you're not the jet lag hasn't hit yet, has it?
So this is the weird thing. Like when I come here, I don't get jet lag. When I go home, I'm floored for about 3 days. So it's weird coming out here. I'm absolutely fine as long as I go to bed at like local time, kind of 10 p.m. or something, and then I wake up about 6 like I did today. So not so bad coming here, but going home, I know I'm going to get like hit with a ton of bricks.
Excited to be here.
Exactly. Like I've got
and all the fat and sugar.
And
all the root beer and Fruit Loops.
I've got Super Bowl tomorrow, and then next weekend I'm up in Salt Lake City for the NBA All-Star weekend. So like I'm just going to be everywhere. And then I get to see family as well, which is really important. So I'm getting to see a lot of family at my parents' house just now. So it's I'm actually in my dad's office, and it's like a shrine to baseball. I've got his 2020 Dodgers poster behind me from when they won the World Series, and I'm just surrounded by so much memorabilia. It's unbelievable. I even have because I'm an A's fan. I've even got my Tony La Russa bobblehead all here. So no, it's only the start of the trip. So I still have. I'm here for 2 weeks. So it's
Oh wow.
it's
Now, whose tailgate party are you taking part in?
Whichever one has more beer. Because I'm Scottish, so yeah, whichever one has more beer.
Are you a fan of Tenants?
Sorry?
Do you like Tenants?
No, not really. But we have it.
I had to ask.
It's
Get it over here.
I'm more of a light drinker, so it's more like Bud Light and that kind of thing. Although we mentioned Bud Light so many times on our NFL show that they should really sponsor us, please. Because we talk about them for some reason all the time.
Hashtag sponsor. That's awesome. I love it. I love it. Well, we're so excited to have you here, James, because we are going to talk this week in the Rec Room about a classic Saturday morning cartoon, Tom and Jerry. And this is part of our Saturday Mornings 101 series because, James, we discovered a few weeks ago that Dee, although she's a co-host of the show, she does not have the depth of history and knowledge and enthusiasm for some of the Saturday morning properties and IPs that Johnny does. And so we decided we're going to educate Dee along with the audience and make her passionate about these properties so that she wants to go sit down with her kids and watch them. And so when we were talking, Dee said, "Oh, I love Tom and Jerry." And I said, "Well, that'll be one of the first ones." So we're going to talk about Tom and Jerry. And I set an assignment to Sarah and Willow to share facts about Tom and Jerry that you may not know. And Sarah, why don't you lead us off on this one?
All right. So Tom and Jerry and their creators were William Hanna and Joseph Barbera. And but did you know that you pretty much owe your childhood to these guys? That's right. They've not only created the infamous animation series, but also formed the studio that gave us Yogi Bear, Top Cat, Scooby-Doo, the Smurfs, the Flintstones, and many, many others.
Wow.
Excellent. Did you know that, Dee Bartee?
No, I did not. That is awesome.
The more you know, and knowing is half the battle. Willow?
The cartoon debuted in the 40s. Tom and Jerry debuted on February 10th, 1940. Its first episode was titled Puss Get the oh my god, I can't read today. Puss Gets the Boot, and was created by makers William Hanna and Joseph Barbera. Ever since then, there has been a total of 164 shorts till 2014. The first episode was the longest.
Oh.
Awesome.
Oh.
Awesome. Sarah?
All right. Well, John, back in 1975, Tom and Jerry actually became friends, proper friends. In a special series, we saw them travel the world, competing in sports, solving mysteries, and enjoying some good old-fashioned bromance. Luckily, it didn't last. Just reading what's on the thing, guys.
Willow?
They took their own lives in the end. That's kind of harsh. Bit of a sad one, folks. In the final episode of Tom and Jerry, produced by Hanna-Barbera Cartoons, the two came to a very sad, bad end when they both take their own lives on a train track. What?
That's brutal. Wait.
Okay.
What?
So I got to interject here. They both decide to just lay down on the train track, get run over by the train, and then you see their ghosts coming out, and they're standing at the pearly gates in heaven. Yeah.
Oh, I think I saw that one.
I am glad I didn't see that one.
So
That is insane. Are you kidding me?
So funny story now. When you watch it today, if you look it up on YouTube or if you get it on any of the DVD or Blu-ray releases, they have edited it. So it actually ends with them just sitting down dejected on the train tracks. You don't actually see them get run over and die anymore.
And suddenly I'm realizing why a lot of parents were a little outraged when about these cartoons being so violent. And
Wow.
Sarah, what's next?
Man, all right. I don't know. I'm going to need a minute of recovery from that one. Okay. Woo! All right. Well, the title of the animation series Tom and Jerry originated from an 1823 book titled The Life in London or The Adventures of Jerry Hawthorne and His Elegant Friend, Corinthian Tom.
That is something I did not know. That is fantastic. Corinthian Tom. You know what? I want a nickname Corinthian. That's a great nickname.
We can call you Corinthian.
Corinthian John. Maybe not. Willow, what's the next one?
Tom and Jerry and the Spike and Tyke spinoff. Did you know that Tom and Jerry had their own spin-off series made in the 1950s? The Spike and Tyke cartoons featured the adventures of the well-known Bulldog and his son. However, ran for only 2 episodes because the studio closed.
What?
I seem to remember.
Is there a Mandela effect? Because I swear that was like many episodes.
I thought so too. Maybe it was.
Willow's having a lot of Mandela effect things happening to her recently.
Well, here's why. Because Spike and Tyke did appear in a lot of the shorts. But this was their own show, the Spike and Tyke show, that only lasted 2 episodes. So there is a lot of material, but their actual show only lasted those 2 episodes. James, did you know that?
Maybe that's what
I did not know that.
Are we taking you down a trip down memory lane right now?
Sort of, because like my brother's like 8 years younger than me, and in the early 90s, he got this was like our first box set, by the way, and it was a double case of VHS tapes, and it was like 50 episodes of Tom and Jerry. And to be honest, by this point, I'm like 12, 13, whatever, and I probably watched them more than he did.
Funny stuff. Sarah, what's next?
All right, well, get ready for this one because Tom and Jerry actually have a cocktail named after them. Dee, are you ready for this?
Yeah, where is this at?
It is a traditional Christmas cocktail in the USA named a Tom and Jerry. It was made from eggnog and rum. The cocktail was invented by the author of the book Life in London, Pierce Egan.
Well, there you go. We know what Dee is going to be serving for.
I love eggnog, but I don't like traditional eggnog where you have liquor in it. I'm just not a fan. I guess because I love eggnog so much. But I don't like liquor in my coffee either. Apparently, I only like it in cereal.
That's
Fuego. Sin fuego.
That's true. Willow?
MGM asked the creators to discontinue the cartoon. Among the amazing facts about Tom and Jerry, the cartoon was first work collaboration between Hanna-Barbera and Hanna-Barbera, who worked for MGM. The studio asked them to discontinue, thinking the concept was too common, but when it became a huge success, winning an Oscar nomination in 1941, they allowed the creators to continue. Wow.
Yeah, there you go. Sarah?
Okay, well, get this. There's a prequel. Did y'all know there's a prequel?
No.
Well, there is. In the 90s, Tom and Jerry were reinvented, much like a lot of their other kids' shows. The new Tom and Jerry series acted as sort of a prequel series and focused on the duo's early years. Aww.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Jerry kids.
It's
yes.
a baby Tom and Jerry.
And this was a trend in the early 90s. We had Muppet Babies, we had Tiny Toons and Baby Looney Tunes, and we had the Scooby-Doo kids and the Flintstone kids and Tom and Jerry kids. So there you go. Willow, do we have another fact that we might not know?
Tom and Jerry in Czechoslovakia, where my husband's grandparents came from.
Ooh.
You'd think that Tom and Jerry is an American as a cartoon can get, but for a brief period in the 1960s, the animated series were actually made in Czechoslovakia. The 13 Czech episodes had a very different tone than the original, with harder edge violence and strange atmosphere. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah, I'm showing those images. These were directed by a guy named Deitch, and he admitted that he was not a fan of Tom and Jerry to begin with, but he took the assignment and he fell in love with the absurdity of the duo. But they are considered among the worst of the Tom and Jerry cartoons. Because they, instead of focusing on at-home adventures, they went to exotic locales, and the animation style was very different. So we went from this to this, and even as a kid, it was super noticeable to me. It was very stilted animation, and there were all of the voices were just like, it was horrible. Yeah, it was not good. Do we have any other facts you may not know? Sarah?
Well, I think that one of the interesting ones is that they have won 13, but they have been given 13 Oscar nominations.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty amazing. Well, Dee Bartee has to go. She's got a basketball game.
It's the last one. It's a tournament game. Last tournament.
Well, hope they win.
Thank you.
We'll say farewell to you. We'll finish out the rest of the show without you.
I'm
Tears.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Make sure you follow Dee Bartee at Dee Bartee Photo and like her on all of the socials. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
Yep. We'll
Bye,
see you later,
guys.
Dee.
Nice to meet you in person, James.
Nice to meet you.
Hi,
Good
Dee.
one.
Now, do we have any other facts that we may not know? Or was that all of them?
There's like
There are a few, yeah. Okay, so Tom and Jerry aren't their real household names. Sorry.
No, I'm excited about this one.
Okay, before receiving the names of Tom and Jerry, the duo had rather different personas. In their first appearance in 1940, Tom called Jasper, and while Jerry was nameless in the cartoon itself, he was referred to as Jinx by the animators.
Yeah, Jasper and Jinx.
That actually would work very well as a
like
title.
Jasper.
Yeah. What else we got, Sarah?
Well, in order to name the characters, there was a studio-wide competition to come up with permanent names for the cat and mouse. Humble animator John Carr came up with the names Tom and Jerry, which won him the competition. And get this, $50 whole.
Woohoo! $50 whole. Willow?
Yep. Okay, so going back a few steps, Joseph Barbera began his career with the original Tom and Jerry. Joseph Barbera began his animation career working on the original Tom and Jerry for Van Buren Studios in 1932. He joined MGM in 1937, where he met colleague William Hanna.
It's amazing. So it all started with Tom and Jerry. And Hanna-Barbera went on to, as we've already shared, create some of the seminal animated properties of all time, with Scooby-Doo, the Flintstones, and more. Sarah, do we have any more?
No, that was it.
All right.
All the facts.
Well, so I'm going to add in a few details here. So the original Hanna-Barbera cartoons were illustrated and directed by Tex Avery. And this is the Tex Avery art that I'm throwing up there. My favorite Tom and Jerry cartoons were the Tex Avery cartoons. And just the classic animation style that we all remember. Mm-hmm. Now, one of the characters in the Tex Avery era was Mammy Two Shoes. And you only ever saw her from the waist down. And, in the 1991 VHS reissue, they replaced her with a different, with a white blonde woman. And I think there's a picture of her legs. And they eventually they restored Mammy Two Shoes back, but they took away the colloquialisms. But in the early 2000s, Whoopi Goldberg, of all people, encouraged them to restore Mammy Two Shoes to her original form to honor the contributions of African Americans in Hollywood. And so they did. So now when you see the shorts, you see Mammy Two Shoes in her original form. And all of those episodes in the special editions have a commentary by Whoopi Goldberg explaining how important she was. Even though she appears as a racial stereotype, it provides context for the times, and she gives that context of why it was so important. So little known fact there. And then we had the Deitch era, which was horrible. And then Chuck Jones took over the animation. And you'll notice, again, a little bit different stylization. In particular, Jerry was given kind of more of a sweet face, almost feminine face, and reminiscent of Porky Pig.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one I remember. That one looks really familiar.
Yeah. The Chuck Jones series were really popular. And of course, they started in movie theaters, right? 1940 is when they aired, starting as shorts before movies. They did not go to TV until 1965, 25 years before they actually landed on TV on Saturday morning. And they were only on from 65 to 67, and they disappeared again until 1975 with the Tom and Jerry show. And this is the show that I remember from my childhood on Saturday mornings.
Mm-hmm.
And this ran from 75 to, I want to say 78 maybe. And then in 1980, the 1980 cartoon series launched the Tom and Jerry comedy show. And this is where the woman was replaced Mammy Two Shoes, and had a very different, more of an 80s style animation. And then
that's what I would have watched.
Probably. This was on from 1980 to I think 85.
Oh, I was little.
Yeah. And of course, everyone's seen Tom and Jerry in reruns. But then in the 90s, as we mentioned, Tom and Jerry Kids. 1991, the first full-length theatrical release with Tom and Jerry, the movie. And I got to admit, I've never seen this movie. But you'll notice a classic Tex Avery character is in the background with Droopy Dog.
Oh.
Yep.
Droopy Dog was not originally part of the Tom and Jerry universe, but when they were repackaged for television in 1965, they added the Tex Avery Droopy shorts to the Tom and Jerry block. And then in 2001, we had this movie, Tom and Jerry, in the theaters, and I went and saw it in the theaters. It came out it was the first movie to hit theaters after theaters started opening up after, pandemic shutdowns. Did any of you see this movie yet?
No.
So it is a live action Tom and Jerry with Tom and Jerry being animated in traditional 2D animation amongst the live action. Basically, it is It is a remake of Dunstan Checks In,
Oh, okay.
Okay.
the movie with Jason Alexander and the orangutan. But they've replaced the orangutan with Tom and Jerry. And I will tell you that the Tom and Jerry segments were fantastic. What ruined this movie was the people, the live action human story. It didn't matter. Nobody cared. So, yeah, it was a good movie. It made me happy, but they needed to get rid of the. It starred Michael Pena and Zoe. Oh, what's her last name? Not Kravitz, but
Chanel?
no, the other one. There's three of them. It'll come to me in a minute. But all in all, look at all these movies that they've made. Most of these are direct to video, with the exception of Tom and Jerry the movie, and then Tom and Jerry last in 2021. And James, I'll bet that some of these you had on VHS.
Yeah, I would imagine. I probably did. And we, like I say, growing up, Tom and Jerry was because they were short as well. Like
Yeah.
some of the cartoons you get now, like they're kind of like 30 minutes long and stuff. So Tom and Jerry was always a big thing for me.
Yeah, they were 2 to 5 minutes. And this is the one that I am dying to see. Tom and Jerry's Spy Quest. I had no idea this existed until I started doing research for this episode. This is a Johnny Quest team up with Tom and Jerry. This is a must-have for me because I am obsessed with Johnny Quest. Now, it's a shame that Dee left early because this is the Tom and Jerry her kids watch. This is the Tom and Jerry show that's currently on, and it uses that very flat CGI-generated 2D animation. I've not seen this. I don't know if I could bring myself to watch this, to be honest with you. I hate that style of animation. Anybody else? Anybody else with me?
Yep.
I'm looking at all of these pictures, and I feel like I watched a much older version of Tom and Jerry growing up, and I'm not sure where I got that.
I'm the same way. Like I definitely got watched it from like
This
my parents' point of view, kind of like from like the 60s style.
Yeah.
Well, maybe even even the earlier cartoons too.
Well, so the images that I'm showing on air for the audience, this is, I forget what the episode was called, but this is where Tom is a Texas cowboy, and he actually sings with plays guitar and sings, "If you're ever down in Texas, look me up." Great episode. And then Zoot Suit Tom, he sings in this as well. And I believe his musical voice was voiced by Cab Calloway, if I'm not mistaken. And then my favorite episode of all time was the Two Musketeers with Baby Mouse. I forget Baby Mouse's name, but he would appear throughout the series. And I just remember in Two Musketeers, he would always say, "On God! On God! On God! Touché!" And, you know, Tom and Jerry never spoke. They never had speaking voices except when they were in pain.
Mm-hmm.
Tom would, "Oh, wow," howl and, there is one episode where there's a news report, and it's basically telling false information. And Tom looks at the camera and says, "Don't you believe it?" So anyway, that's Tom and Jerry. Any thoughts on Tom and Jerry from our panel?
I I love these cartoons, but yeah, definitely gonna stay away from seeing the one where they off themselves in a very horrific way.
Yeah. Well, that was one of the original Tex Avery Hanna-Barbera episodes. It was the last in that series. We have some viewer comments, so let's take a look here. The Cereal Connection says, I need a cereal that comes with a Ziploc bag pouch. #future. Yes. Would the cereal companies talk to anybody at Ziploc, please?
Yes.
I had to get off that soapbox because Dee and some of our other co-hosts got sick of me mentioning it every week. But James, you remember, that's my cause celeb. Tracy Wilkes says, I'm the same, James. I don't get jet lag traveling west. Coming home, I'm dead for days. #future. And Tracy Wilkes says, that's the right and only answer. Most beer always wins.
Without a doubt.
And Tracy also adds, love the original Tom and Jerry. The reboot sucks. So I'm guessing, Tracy, that you are talking about the modern reboot that I was talking about with this flat CG animation. I cannot imagine that this is good.
Is that what they call cell shading, or is that something totally different?
No, this isn't use cells. So
okay.
What cells were the plastic film that they actually literally painted on.
Okay, yeah.
And this is just straight up CGI, computer graphic animation. You know what? I'll watch it before I pass final judgment, but I didn't even know that this existed until this episode. And
my pet peeve about animation now is very much the Adult Swim stuff. I know a lot of you are gonna hate me for this, but I can't do the newer animation nowadays. It to me it just looks lazy.
Oh, well, we'll need to have a conversation about that on another episode. All right, so JD says Uncle Pecos. That's my favorite episode of Tom and Jerry ever. I do a great Uncle Pecos impersonation as well. Well, next time you're on the show, JD, we're going to let you do that. And Tracy Wilkes says, my favorite Tom and Jerry is the one where he makes the zoot suit. And Serial Connection says, Spike was my boy, but nobody is naming their dog Tyke. That's probably true. And Dave Mattingly adds, since Tom chases Jerry all the time, you'd think there'd be a chaser named after them. The Tom and Jerry Chaser.
Well, there's still time.
Yeah.
There's still time.
Get on, people.
That's right.
What's that, James?
Sorry, I was time zones and sleep and lack of power apparently, and because I've got one of those big charger things that goes into the plug, and because it's heavy, I didn't realize like it was hanging out, so it wasn't actually plugged in. So suddenly I was losing power, and I was like, "Oh no!"
Molly Daniels says she's not seen the movie either, but JD says it is on HBO Max, and he streamed it on HBO Max. No, JD, it's not Zoe Saldana either. It's the fourth Zoe. She was in. She played Hit Girl in the Kick-Ass movies, and she was in what Shadow in the Clouds. What a great movie, by the way. Serial Connection says the orangutan in Dunstan Checks In was a better actor than people. That was such a fun movie. If you've never seen Dunstan Checks In, check it out. Super fun movie. And Dave Mattingly is laughing at the Fast and the Furry, which is their takeoff on Fast and the Furious. And he asks Tom and Jerry as Willy Wonka. Yes, that was one of the movies. Let's bring that back up so people can see some of these movies that they did. So you got Blast Off to Mars. You've got Fast and Fury.
Her name wasn't Zoe. It's Chloe.
Oh,
That's what I said, Chloe.
You said Zoe.
You said Zoe.
Chloe what? What is her last name?
Chloe Grace Moretz.
Yeah, there we go.
That's her. Yep, that's who I meant. Yep. And JD says Rimshot. And yes, Chloe Moretz played Hit Girl. LOL. Yeah, you're welcome. So, yeah, they did a Tom and Jerry Willy Wonka and Robin Hood, Nutcracker. What's the other one there? Sherlock Holmes. I had no idea these movies existed until this week. And now this is all I want to do is sit down and watch Tom and Jerry direct-to-DVD movies.
There's probably a reason for that.
Well, I'll tell you. So this is another thing that became the standard for a long time, and we lost James. Sorry, James. Hopefully you can come back. The standard, in the early 90s, Scooby-Doo went direct to video with all of their movies, which are great for the most part. And there's 51 of those.
All of the Land Before Time movies.
Yeah, and the Land Before Time. They've got a whole 12, all direct to video.
You didn't know that?
I did not know that.
There was a weird they had the one, and then it was 10 years later they started releasing one after another all the sequels.
Well,
I feel like I've missed something important.
Because the Scooby-Doo movies, the Scooby-Doo movies were such a big hit as direct-to-video releases that other studios caught on to this. And that's when the Land Before Time direct-to-video movies started coming out. And the DC animated universe, especially with Batman, did the same thing. Mm-hmm. We get Batman movie after Batman movie direct-to-video, which I'm okay with. I love... with animation, movies I want to see in the theater, but cartoons, there's something about sitting in front of the TV to watch an animated movie or an animated show, for me, makes it a little bit more special.
Unless it's Disney Pixar or something like that, I want to see those in the theater.
Yeah, I was really disappointed that Turning Red was not released in the theater. That should have been a theatrical release.
Was it not?
No, it was direct to Disney Plus. Have you guys seen Turning Red?
I haven't.
No,
I've heard about it, but I haven't seen it.
A lot of people were mad at how at a certain subject.
It's not even addressed. It's not even a part. I mean, it's it's mentioned.
I know.
Anyway.
People will find something to nitpick about every single movie that comes out and blow it up into something giant. So
yes, they will. They need to do. This is from JD. They need to do the Last Robin anime. Oh, the Last Robin from Batman animated movie. And the Serial Connection says, I love the DC animated movies. They're better than most of the DC live action ones. Absolutely. That is the truth. And Serial Connection also says, Turning Red is awesome. It was great. I like to think that Turning Red takes place in the same universe as The Incredibles.
Oh.
And that we could have an Incredibles Red crossover.
That would be cool.
Yeah. And JD says, I've seen Turning Red. And Molly Daniel says, I want to see Red. It was great. And Molly Daniels says she only has 3 or 4 Land Before Time. She loves Littlefoot.
Aw.
Yeah. Yeah. And JD reiterates what I said. Scooby-Doo is a big culprit for the direct-to-DVD animated movies or direct-to-video.
Yeah.
But you know what? If they're good, they're good. I don't care what format they're in.
Yeah, around that time, I think it was like Disney that started doing the direct-to-video stuff, and then I don't know what actually spawned, like started it all, but then all the studios started doing the direct to.
Well, there was a whole slew of Barbie movies that came out direct to VHS and DVD for like years.
Yeah. Yeah, my daughter was obsessed with those. I think we watched the Barbie Nutcracker 9,000 times.
Jennifer Love Hewitt started her career in a Barbie workout video.
A Barbie workout video?
Workout video, yeah.
James's power is back. He's back.
All I could hear was like, yep. And then my camera went off and it all just went.
That's the final segment of the show where we talk like that.
Well, you know what the final segment of the show is this week? It is our giveaway. So I am going to share my giveaway screen. You should see that. And we've only got 3 entries. That can't be right.
What?
But we're going to click draw. And we'll see who wins the Writers of the Future. It is our super serial boxer, Dave Mattingly. He is the winner. So, Dave, I will get this to you. I will connect to you on the back end, and we will get that to you. Congratulations, Dave. And thank you, everybody else who participated in the giveaway. Writers of the Future. Dave, you're gonna love this. This is a perfect fit for Dave. Yeah. And thank you to Galaxy Press for sponsoring this episode. So, James, tell everyone a little bit about Across the Pond Sports Network before we leave so that they can follow, find, and support you. What do they get when they tune in to the Across the Pond Sports Network podcast? Uh-oh. Is James frozen again? James. Hello, James.
Yeah, he is.
Come back to us. Come back. Don't go. Do not go into the light, please.
Oh no, James is frozen. He's catatonic. Let's do a screenshot right now of this. Boom. And he's gone. He lost connection. They must be having internet connection. Well, I will speak on his behalf. The Across the Pond Sports Network is video and audio podcast, very much like what we do. They have a lot of different shows, just like the Cereal Box Network has, on different sports. It's not genres in sports. Categories? What do you call sports types? It's not. Anyway, they talk a lot about a lot of different sports.
What is that? Now you've got me all like, wait, what? What is
categories? Yeah, that doesn't sound right either.
No. Wow.
I don't know.
We love sports here at Back of the Cereal Box. We're big sports fans on this show.
Sports ball.
Go sports.
The only sport that I ever got into really was pro wrestling. That was part of my Saturday morning experience. And it's like a soap opera for superheroes, really, because that's what pro wrestling characters are for the most part.
If the Winnipeg Blue Bombers or the Winnipeg Jets aren't playing, I don't watch.
So anyway, the Across the Pond Sports Network, they cover American sports in the United Kingdom, in Scotland, and they have co-hosts here in the US, and they get together over streaming and they discuss the week in sports from a European perspective versus an American perspective. So it's a different twist. You get to, it would be kind of like, Willow, if you and I sat down and talked about sports from a Canadian perspective versus an American perspective, which is never going to happen.
Actually, football over there.
Yes, yeah.
Other than it's handball in the U.S. Don't get mad at me, NFL fans. Just saying, it's technically football.
Our football went from being like rugby to being called football. So yeah.
Yeah.
I love all football. So I love it all. I do enjoy sports. I don't watch it as much as I used to, but I do enjoy it.
My son is obsessed. If I could get him to be a broadcaster on our network, he would be great. But anyway, that's our show. What? We went way over time, but it was worth it to take that deep dive.
Thank you. You guys are awesome.
Yes, we've got a ton. Still more comments are coming in, and you guys keep the comments coming. Continue to comment on Facebook or YouTube after the show is in replay. That helps us. And the Serial Connection says, no, the show is over. No. It is true. And we've gone way over time. And we took a deep dive into Tom and Jerry, but there's so much more. And I hope that our audience watching or listening, they go seek out some of these other versions of Tom and Jerry and fall in love with them all over again. Willow, do a 24-hour show. First of all,
you do a marathon. Oh man,
I think we could pretty much do it with all of our hosts.
Well,
but
we could do a whole thing. We should plan this.
Well, our multiverse fundraiser pretty much is like.
Yeah, we just did the multiverse fundraiser, which was 8 hours for 3 days. So we could do 24 hours, no problem.
We should do a 24-hour. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you. You know what? I'll tell you what.
We should make it a telethon.
Here's the stretch. Well, we can do
a telethon type show.
I'll make this deal with everybody. If we hit 5,000, no, I'm gonna have to bump it up because we're at 4,000 right now. No, you know what? We'll make it 5,000. If we hit 5,000 likes, followers on Facebook, or 2,000 subscribers on YouTube, we will do a 24-hour live stream telethon show. And we'll invite all of our past guests to join us and new friends like the Serial Connection. They can come do it with us. And
we'll have live entertainment and everything.
I will even bring coffee and words on for a segment if you would like me to, John.
We will definitely make that happen. But that's the deal we're going to make with the audience. If you want to see us do a 24-hour marathon, go tell all your friends and family, 200-300 of your closest friends and family, to like the show or subscribe on YouTube, Facebook.
Share it around.
If we get to 5,000 on Facebook, 2,000 on YouTube, we'll do a 24-hour show. And speaking of support, if you like our show, the banner's been running down below. You can contribute to buymeacoffee.com/cerealboxpod. If you hate the show, contribute even more generously so that we can make improvements just for you at buymeacoffee.com/cerealboxpod. Maybe we can upgrade our internet connectivity so that we don't lose our guests like we did James this morning. I'm just saying, you guys can make that happen. You can join our super cereal box super friends that sponsor this show every week and make it possible to do the show without me going into massive debt. Eli Cash, Cindy Kepps, Charisse Collins, Dave Manginelli, Dave Mattingly, and Crystal and Greg Jones. So you guys can consider becoming a contributor. That would be a lot of fun. And make sure you follow everyone who is on the show. Author Sarah Jenkins. She does Coffee and Words. She's co-host of another podcast. What is the other one that you co-host?
Two Broadcasters.
Okay. And is it Two Broads Broadcasting?
It's Two Broads, and we talk about some real. We are basically, it's raw, it's honest, it's a raw, honest look at the human experience, and we talk about everything. We get salty, so it's a good show.
Oh, all right. And of course, she is the author of Every Beaten Path, so pick that up, and you will love it, love it, love it. And Willow, you're on social media as Willow Skylor. People can find you on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and everywhere. And
Yep.
and if you want to get real, every week, at least once a week, Willow is taking on some social injustice. And this week, it was taking on
the
body shaming.
Dude bros who like to think that women of a certain size is unattractive, but yet have a tendency to come up to me in my DMs and tell me what a lovely certain part of my body is. So yeah, you can see my video on that I posted up yesterday.
So, check that out. That's fantastic. And, of course, go get yourself some candy pop for your Super Bowl party. We want to thank Vintage Italia for sending us those packets this week. Tasty, tasty fun. Yes, thank you, Sarah. That's awesome. Well, guys, gals, that's it for this week. I appreciate both of you and Dee and James for being here. And thank you to everyone watching. Continue to like, comment, share, subscribe, whatever platform. And until the next time, love you, mean it. We'll catch you on the back of the cereal box. Bye.